On World News Tonight this Monday, did students at a Maryland college get sufficient warning before a disastrous trip to Guatemala? As the country remembers Martin Luther King Jr., we'll take a closer look at what his name means today. And the $6 billion subway system in California that might never be finished. And they have been using your money.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, Monday, January 19th. This is World News Tonight with Peter Jennings.
Good evening. We're going to begin tonight at St. Mary's College in southeastern Maryland. They've had a terrible weekend trying to figure out why such a sudden outburst of violence engulfed their students on a trip to Central America. We learned over the weekend that 13 of St. Mary's students and 3 of their chaperones had been ambushed in Guatemala. Today, the students, 5 of whom say they were sexually assaulted as well as robbed, return to their campus. David Enso reports there are now difficult questions for the college and for Washington.
This small college tried to carry on with life as usual today, but the professor who took the students to Guatemala and ended up at gunpoint while some of them were raped found himself on the defensive.
We knew that there was criminal activity certainly to be considered, and we thought we were taking the necessary precautions to ensure the safety of the group.
In fact, the State Department routinely warns travelers to Guatemala on a web page and elsewhere that 6 American women have been raped in 5 separate incidents in that country just in the last 7 months. Recent incidents, says the State Department, which include shootings, kidnappings, rapes, and violent assaults, have for the most part occurred during daylight hours and in many cases have affected entire groups of American tourists.
It's kind of scary when you have a school trip like that where you assume you're going to be safe and something like that happens.
In Guatemala City today, police officials announced that 2 suspects were caught by police fleeing the scene of the robbery and rapes. They said they expect to catch the other 2 attackers as well. And outside Boston, a travel agent who sends students to Guatemala criticized this group for going to a dangerous area on a bus that had no radio, no way to call for help.
They were traveling around the country in the southern part of the country where the infrastructure for tourism and travel is really non-existent at this point.
Privately, the parent of one child who made the trip says emotions right now range from embarrassment to anger and guilt. The young people, he says, are going to take a while to get over this. David Ensor, ABC News, the State Department.
In Iraq today, the United Nations may have folded another hand in its poker game with Baghdad. The chief UN weapons inspector, who has been talking with senior Iraqi officials, appeared to soften one of his long-standing positions that Iraq have no say in how many Americans work on the inspection teams. ABC's Ron Claiborne is in Baghdad.
As he arrived in Baghdad, Butler sent a strong signal that he may now be willing to yield to Iraq's demand for more non-American inspectors.
Maybe in the future we'll cast a slightly, we'll make a double take, a second look at their nationality.
Until now, Butler and the U.S. have said the Iraqis would never be allowed to dictate who serves on the inspection teams. But Mr. Butler again demanded full access to Saddam Hussein's presidential palaces, which Iraq has declared off limits. That will be the key issue in the 2 days of scheduled talks between the chief UN inspector and Iraqi Deputy Prime Minister Tariq Aziz. Over the weekend, Saddam called for a holy war to end economic sanctions and for a volunteer force to defend the country against an American attack. And in a demonstration timed to coincide with Butler's visit, Iraqi women marched alongside a caravan of taxis today, bearing the coffins of infants they say died because of the sanctions. Butler says those sanctions could end soon if the Iraqis allow the inspectors to do their job. Ron Claiborne, ABC News, Baghdad.
In London today, the men who run the political wing of the Irish Republican Army were at the Prime Minister's residence for another unsatisfactory negotiating session about how to share power in Northern Ireland. But the talks have been overshadowed somewhat today by accusations that members of the Clinton administration leaked British intelligence secrets to IRA guerrillas. The accusations are made in a book by the former U.S. ambassador to Britain, Raymond Seitz. And one of those he takes to task is the current U.S. ambassador to Ireland, Jean Kennedy Smith, the late President Kennedy's sister. ABC's Mike Lee in London has more.
Former Ambassador Seitz claims that the last British government under Prime Minister John Major was convinced that the Clinton administration was leaking British secrets to the IRA. In his memoirs, Ambassador Seitz says that Mrs. Kennedy Smith, who was then and still is ambassador to Ireland, was, quote, too shallow to understand the past and too naive to anticipate the future. She was an ardent IRA apologist. Ambassador Seitz did not directly accuse Mrs. Kennedy Smith of passing on British secrets to the IRA, but a former British minister for Northern Ireland said today that London did withhold intelligence from the U.S., fearing that leaks from her might endanger the lives of British soldiers. Do you think that she was naive enough or supportive enough to leak secrets back to the IRA?
I don't know whether it's naivety or what. Whether it may not have even been done intentionally.
Do you think it was done?
I know it was done.
Ambassador Seitz had often argued against negotiations with the IRA, such as those held today at number 10 Downing Street. Both sides in these very sensitive talks say they wish the book had never been written. Mike Lee, ABC News, London.
Today is Martin Luther King Day. As most of you know, there was some sort of commemoration in every state. But in Louisiana, one parade took a violent turn. In Baton Rouge, a man jumped out of the crowd and began to shoot. One man in the parade was killed and 3 children were hurt. The gunman got away for now. The police think the motive was personal, but that is the only explanation we have so far. Later in the program tonight, we'll take a closer look at Dr. King's legacy. Not everything he'd have wanted it to be. And in just a moment, the day's other news. The government now says it is okay to switch off your airbags. The problem is finding a mechanic who will do the job. And $6 billion going down the tube in California. And it is your money.
This is World News Tonight with Peter Jennings. Brought to you by Charles Schwab.
Someday I'd like a slightly larger house. Security for my kids, maybe even a little bit for retirement. All right, a lot.
Schwab's Mutual Fund One Source gives you access to hundreds of no-load funds. And our valuable tools can help you build your portfolio. Call now for our free select list.
Because part of setting a goal is finding a way to reach it.
I'm lost and I'm starving.
Come in. Here you go. Something to eat.
Did you make this with vegetable oil?
Well, yes.
Thanks, but I gotta watch what I eat.
Eat healthier with Mazola 100% pure canola oil. It has half the saturated fat of vegetable oil and lets the great taste of your food come through. It's what you're looking for.
I'm lost and I'm starving.
Mazola canola, because your health really matters.
This is the first day that drivers can have switches installed to turn off the airbags in their cars. The option is being made available after some children were killed by airbags and some adults feared the airbags would do more harm than good to them. Here's ABC's Lisa Stark.
6,300 people have applied for the cutoff switches, and more than 5,000 of them, including Alice Featherstone, have already been approved. Surprisingly, more than half of the requests are for switches to disable driver's side airbags from people like Featherstone worried about sitting too close to the steering wheel.
If that thing comes out at 200 miles an hour and my face is right here, it's going to snap my neck, I think, like a twig.
Only 24% of the approvals are for just passenger side switches, primarily in cases where kids must ride up front.
But many dealers and mechanics are refusing to install the switches, worried about getting sued if someone turns off an airbag and then is injured or killed in an accident.
This is a situation where the customer controls our liability with the flip of a switch, and we're not willing to take that risk.
So far, only Ford and General Motors have switches ready. Installing them will cost $200 to $300 each, but drivers will have to search for someone to do it. Lisa Stark, ABC News, Washington.
In other news today, a real pioneer of rock and roll has died. Carl Perkins started playing a homemade guitar when he was 7. He couldn't help but end up in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Perkins' rockabilly songs were recorded by everyone from Johnny Cash to the Beatles. His legacy will always be this song.
One for the money, two for the show. We get it ready now. Go, cat, go, but don't you step on my blue suede shoe. Oh, you can do anything for me, off on my blue suede shoe. Yeah, well, you can.
Carl Perkins died in Tennessee. He was 65. Martin Luther King's name. We'll take a closer look when we come back.
Your kids give you plenty to worry about. Your car shouldn't. That's why you need a Chevy Lumina. It'll go up to 100,000 miles before its first scheduled tune-up. So get a Lumina and relax. They'll grow out of it. You did, didn't you? And check out Lumina's resale value.
When heartburn and pain get you, don't get any of these for complete relief. Problems this bad need Alka-Seltzer, the only one with effervescent power to speed relief, plus medicines for all your symptoms. The 100% solution, Alka-Seltzer.
Come on, ice cream for everyone. Oh, none for me, thanks. Why? Dairy foods do a number on my stomach.
You lactose intolerant? Huh? You know, gas, bloating. I get it too, but it's no problem anymore. Try this.
Lactaid Ultra. One little caplet just before eating lets you digest dairy foods easily and naturally.
Next time, let's go for milkshakes.
With a little Lactaid Ultra on the side.
Lactaid Ultra. Go on, enjoy dairy again. Call 1-888-ULTRA now for a free sample.
To get the extra fiber you need to stay regular, why choose Citracel? Because fiber like psyllium and Metamucil can initially cause excess gas. Citracel is different. No psyllium, no gas. Citracel. Effective relief without the gas.
Men, is gray hair sneaking up on you, right under your nose, making you look too old?
Whoa, it is sneaking up on me. Up here, too.
You need Just for Men gel, made for the hard-to-color gray of mustaches and sideburns. Simply brush in this no-drip gel, and in 5 minutes, rinse. Gray's gone. Your mustache and sideburns blend perfectly with your natural hair color.
That gray won't sneak up on me again.
Just for Men gel, the sure thing for a natural look.
We're going to take a closer look tonight at what's in a name. The name is Martin Luther King Jr. This is, as we said earlier, Martin Luther King Day. In Atlanta, where the King Center is located, his widow, Coretta Scott King, and Vice President Gore laid a wreath at his gravesite. In many parts of America, Dr. King was honored for his contributions to American history in civil rights and in race relations. For the very first time, the stock market was closed, not just for an hour, but for the day. In New Hampshire, where the legislature is reluctant to rename Civil Rights Day after Dr. King, hundreds of people marched to the state capitol to say that the time has come. There is no question that Dr. King's impact on the country was enormous. But 30 years after he was assassinated, his name is not a universal inspiration. ABC's Michelle Norris begins her report in Riverside, California.
Once it is finished, this new high school in Riverside, California, will serve a mostly white, mostly middle-class community. Many of those residents rejected the school board's proposal to name the new school for Martin Luther King Jr.
The majority of people there are going to be white or with more money, and that's not what Martin Luther King worked for at all.
They feared that outsiders, especially colleges, would confuse their children with inner-city students at schools named for Dr. King.
All in favor, aye? Aye.
In the end, the board did vote to name the school for Dr. King, but the debate raises troubling questions about what his name has come to represent.
Some people think that Martin Luther King Jr. was a hero for African Americans and not for all Americans, and they think that anything that bears his name is somehow stigmatized, apparently.
To understand why, just look at America's inner cities, from Chicago to New Jersey to Los Angeles and Miami. The streets that bear his name are boulevards of broken dreams.
I think it's still indicative of the fact that his dream hasn't been fulfilled and we have a long way to go.
They do tend to ghettoize his name. Then it does tend to, I think, diminish what he stood for and what he accomplished.
In many ways, it is fitting that Dr. King's name is so widely used in some of America's neediest neighborhoods. In these areas, among the poor and the downtrodden, Dr. King continues to inspire.
I live in one of the roughest neighborhoods there is, and Martin Luther King Street is right by where I live, so I just feel like it just tells me to do the best that I can with what I have.
The irony is that for many, Dr. King's name has become synonymous with poverty, joblessness, and racial isolation, the very things he fought against, which raises a concern. Will it be harder for all of America to honor his dream when his name is associated so often with the harsh realities of inner city life? Michelle Norris, ABC News, Washington.
Well, let's talk a couple minutes more about this. Joining us tonight is Michael Eric Dyson, Baptist minister, writer, former welfare father, and university professor. Dr. Dyson, do you agree that Dr. King's name is an inspiration to black Americans, but not to all white Americans?
Well, it certainly is an inspiration to African Americans, and it certainly is an inspiration to many white Americans as well. I don't think we can ghettoize Dr. King's inspiration or locate it on one block or one segment of American ethnic or racial identity. At the same time, African Americans have made of him a tremendous hero, but so have many white Americans. So I don't think we can associate him exclusively with African American concerns. After all, the truths for which he fought and died transcended race and went to the heart of American democracy.
In a phrase, Martin Luther King Day celebrated to your satisfaction?
Well, no, I think that the celebration of Dr. King's birthday needs to be broader, wider, and more radical. At the end of his life, he was no longer on the top 10 most popular men in this country. We have to remember that. We're living in a state of amnesia about Dr. King. He was a radical threat and considered a dangerous man. That's the kind of challenge we need to revive when we think about Dr. King's birthday.
Radical and threat to whom?
Radical and threat to those who are not concerned about justice. Dr. King challenged people who were comfortable, who settled into their own ways of thinking. He was always growing, evolving, changing, and rethinking and reassessing his own position.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you very kindly.
There was something that caught our attention on National Public Radio this morning, an excerpt from a King speech that we haven't heard in more than 30 years. March the 8th, 1965. The day after 84 people were injured, 17 of them hospitalized, trying to march from Selma, Alabama to Montgomery in the cause of voting rights for blacks. Faced with the prospect of more violence, some people thought that continuing the march was not a good idea. Dr. King was clearly not one of them.
Deep down in our nonviolent creed is the conviction. There are some things so dear, some things so precious, some things so eternally true that they're worth dying for. And if a man happens to be 36 years old, as I happen to be, and some great truth stands before the door of his life, some great opportunity to stand up for that which is right and that which is just, and he refuses to stand up because he wants to live a little longer, and he's afraid his home will get bombed, or he's afraid that he will lose his job, or he's afraid that he will get shot or beat down by state troopers. He may go on and live until he's 80, but he's just as dead as 36 as he would be at 80, and the cessation of breathing in his life is merely the belated announcement of an earlier death of the spirit. He died.
2 weeks later, Dr. King led the march from Selma to Montgomery. 3 years later, he was killed in Memphis, Tennessee. He was 39 years old. This year, he would be 69. Back in just a moment.
Nobody does it like you.
In test after test, new wind tunnel by Hoover picks up more dirt than any other clean air upright.
Nobody
Wind tunnel by Hoover.
does it like you.
Why all these laxatives?
Why not?
They have ingredients that may cause cramps.
Says who?
Says on the label. Phillips is the only one that doesn't. Don't you know nothing's better?
He knows now.
Phillips Effective Relief without harsh ingredients.
In 1993, we changed everything. Dodge became the new Dodge, and the new Dodge became Intrepid. Now we're changing the way cars are created. Today's new Intrepid is the world's first car designed, assembled, and proven on computers, enabling a degree of precision never before possible. Welcome to the world of the new Dodge Intrepid. We're changing everything. Again.
What, you're not eating oatmeal?
This is oatmeal.
Oh, yeah, sure.
It's toasted oatmeal, all right? Toasted, crunchy.
You're putting the oatmeal in the toaster?
No, I don't toast the oatmeal. Quaker toasts the oatmeal. Look, Quaker toasted oatmeal.
It's pre-toasted.
Quaker toasted oatmeal. Delicious flakes of toasted oatmeal with crunchy clusters of honey-sweetened oats. It's your other oatmeal.
This is good. They should call this Quaker Tasty Oatmeal.
We'll write a letter.
Remember, soluble fiber from oatmeal as part of a heart-healthy diet may reduce the risk of heart disease.
I work for a dermatologist, so I see what people go through with psoriasis and eczema. That's why I'm excited about the latest therapy from Cordaid. Cordaid Intensive Therapy. In preference tests, it was chosen over Cortisone 10. Cordaid Intensive Therapy has the most powerful medicine you can buy to stop the itch and help you heal quickly. Plus 7 soothing skin moisturizers. And there's no brand doctors recommend more than Cordaid. Cordaid Intensive Therapy. Today's preferred therapy for psoriasis and eczema.
Tonight in our weekly report on how the government spends your money, damned if you do, damned if you don't. The city of Los Angeles has decided to put most of its multi-billion-dollar subway project on hold because the alternative, continuing with construction, looked even worse. We first reported on the LA subway last fall. Tonight an update from ABC's Jane Clayson.
It has taken nearly 12 years and $6 billion tax dollars to build one of the most expensive transit systems in the country. It's not even close to being finished, and now it may never be.
And it's time to stop throwing good money after bad projects and put an end to this colossal failure.
That's a big admission for LA's Metropolitan Transportation Authority, who for years committed to building rail with your money at virtually any cost.
The MTA is running out of money. If they don't stop spending on these projects, their bond interest payments are going to devour them.
When the spending stops, so does construction, and this is what is left. A $13 million bridge, useless rail lines, $12 million worth of concrete railroad ties, and $28 million for unnecessary subway cars with nowhere to go. And on one line, this is where the track ends. In front of an apartment building where a tunnel and a passenger station were actually built into the complex. But passengers will probably never board here. And even if the MTA never lays another inch of track, it will cost $465 million just to maintain its current systems over the next 6 years.
It didn't take a rocket scientist to look at the revenues and look at the costs of the project and know that there was going to be a day of reckoning.
Even the federal government agrees that day has finally come.
It's not the way that we should be doing business, and it is, in fact, not the way that the public money should be used.
There is still a chance some of these projects may be completed, but in the meantime, it will cost another $5 million just to put everything on hold. Jane Clayson, ABC News, Los Angeles.
When we come back, Havana, on the eve of history, polishing it up for the Pope.
Relief can't come fast enough when you have diarrhea.
We have a problem. We have a delay.
We're gonna miss our window.
Our guy needs Imodium AD. You need something faster. Faster?
Faster. Introducing Imodium Advanced with a new formula that adds a second medicine for more complete relief that's even faster than Imodium AD. Nothing works like new Imodium Advanced. Faster relief you can count on.
If the sky that we look upon should tumble and fall, or the mountain should crumble to the sea, I won't cry, no, I won't shed a tear, just as long as you stand.
Peace of mind from Buick LeSabre.
Millions, including me, use a great product to keep their hair shiny and manageable. But I was surprised, and I'm in the tip business. Its same organic moisturizers help heal chapped elbows. And get this, its natural protectants keep silver from tarnishing and take scuff marks off boots. What's been natural and organic for over 40 years? Alberto VO5 hairdressing. You think the VO5 people know about this?
VO5 hairdressing.
natural hair care, and so much more.
Dinner!
You can call your family to dinner.
Attention! Dinner is served!
Or you can let the warmth and aroma of hot, home-baked bread do it for you. Pillsbury dinner breads. Hot and fresh from your oven in minutes.
Must be time for dinner.
Good call.
Tonight, coughing, sneezing, sniffling, people coming to work sick and exposing others.
I think there's the feeling that if you take a day off, you're going to miss something, and you don't want to miss anything.
When should you stay home and when should you come in? We'll tell you on 2020 Monday.
Just before our final story, a brief review of the lead. 2 suspects have been captured in Guatemala in connection with an attack on a group of students from St. Mary's College in Maryland. Questions are now focused on how safe it is to travel to Guatemala and if the students should have been there at all. Finally, from us this evening, be nice to the Pope. A suggestion today from Cuba's Communist Party. The party called on Cubans to turn out for the Pope's visit this week. And the Cuban government said it would give people paid time off from work to attend. A couple of other signs of just how big this visit is going to be. In Havana already, ABC's Antonio Mora.
A traffic jam in Havana, almost unheard of in a country with few cars and fuel rationing. But today, Cuba's capital was reeling from an international media invasion. No complaints here, though. Residents are relishing the attention. It is marvelous, said this theater director. Even at my age, I've never seen anything like it. Nor anything like this. At Havana's Plaza de la Revolución, the altar for the Pope's Sunday Mass is almost finished, and participants rehearsed at the site today. This afternoon, Cuba's Cardinal Ortega complained that too many people were portraying the visit as a conflict between the church and Marxism. But for many Cubans, it's more a matter of the Pope coming to visit them, and it's already a source of great pride here. It's more than a worldwide event, this law student said. If people could come from another galaxy, they would travel to Cuba to see the Pope. For a week at least, Cubans are at the center of the world's attention, and they like it that way. Antonio Mora, ABC News, Havana.
And that is our report on World News Tonight. We'll be reporting from Cuba for the rest of the week for the Pope's visit. It's incredibly important to all sorts of people, including the United States. And later this evening on Nightline, the poverty. Is it the real root of terrorism? I'm Peter Jennings. Have a good evening. Good night.
The Pope's visit to Cuba. Will it open a door that can't be closed? Will it change Cuba forever? Peter Jennings returns to Havana on ABC's World News Tonight, tomorrow.
This has been a presentation of ABC News. More Americans get their news from ABC News than from any other source. ABC News, now always on.
There comes a